Hi guys, welcome to Monkey Games channel, and today I'm gonna start some sort of a video blog, and the reason for doing this is actually some amazing thing has happened in my life for about a couple of days ago, and you know what, I got a job offer. Yeah, that sounds pretty strange as far as I consider to be myself to be like some sort of a co-monkey king, a hobby programmer, a self-learner, and I wasn't really talking ever about for how to get a job or I always emphasized that the point is to do things for fun. And quite a fun thing here that this worked out for me to actually get a job. So recently I got an email titled like looking for the developer for a startup. And I've started my negotiations with the employer, and it turned out quite pretty interesting project. It's about making some sort of a web service for African food restaurants and caterers. And the dream my employer has actually wants to gather all the existing kind of African food services in one single place in the internet in order to make some in order to make it possible for British people, yes, it's about the United Kingdom, to be able to buy actually the African food, and that I personally consider that idea just really great. And now let me tell you some things about how the things actually were going on, and quite a fun thing here that I'm not a web developer. Well, I know JavaScript a bit, but I never did any backend stuff, so no experience with databases and some frameworks, etc. And when I asked my employer, how about that? Like, I don't really have that skills. Well, I personally, I was actually supposed to start working, to start learning Node.js and Express framework. That was my aim for the like the nearest aim I was about to achieve, the path I was supposed to go actually. And he said like, well, I don't care. Like I've seen your GitHub repo, I've seen your projects. I see that you're really passionate about what you're doing, and your soft skills are just great. So many like positive commentaries on your works. So he said that he has actually found many positive commentaries on the things I've done here, and he already had a kind of some sort of an image of me in his mind, and that was already enough for him to make me actually a job offer. And this is actually the topic, and this is actually the topic I'm supposed to talk about in this video. And also, this is the topic that actually made me to make a decision to actually start this some sort of video blog. And the aim for this video blog is to kind of motivate some hobby programmers as well as self-learners to kind of become the real software developers and get a job. And eventually this happened to me, and if it is so, that it's probably also could have happened to you as well. And that's the reason I actually want to share some of my thoughts on this topic. And before starting this, I'd like to tell you a little story that happened to me for about a year ago. I had a friend of mine. He was a senior web developer at some company in Ukraine, not the UK, Ukraine. That's where I'm from. And he told me like, man, you have some programming skills, you're doing your own projects and you're deploying them on GitHub, you have something to show to the employers, and do you really want to have a job interview? I could set the things up for you. And I said, well, maybe that's just a good idea, let's try. And you know, the first part of the interview was quite pretty good for as far as my English skills were like really on the first place, and I had my job interview in English, while the other guys who wanted this job actually did it in Russian. For it's not really good it wasn't really good for them for that particular vacancy. Really needed some English skills. Well, but after I passed the first part, with a great success, the second part kind of crushed me to the like, crushed me to hell. I don't know how to say this. And you know what? Well, that time I didn't know that job interview involves some tests. Well, you have to write some code on some test assignments. Yeah, this might have looked really, this might have sounded really crazy, like, but I really didn't know that at that time. I had no idea. I did my own project. I knew how to like, you have an idea and then you starting to make it real. You're looking for a code. You're looking for some algorithms, you're looking for Stack Overflow questions or whatever, and then you start actually working, start building your app, your code, anything. And that turned out a completely different approach that was supposed to checked by the interviewers. And the interviewer really wanted me to make some routine stuff that I had no idea what is that about, some test, and they gave me only 1 hour, and I really didn't get to that. So I was completely crushed, and I had such a bad feeling inside of my soul, like, like this was really just really unpleasant. I hated that. I told my friend, man, I'm not ever really ever to go to that sort of job interview in my life ever. No, I won't really go there. So they don't need me. They need just get some sort of a robot that would do some stuff for them. Well, I'm not that, and I'm not really tempted with those $500 a month they offered me. Like, I don't need that money. I would better just kind of save my inner world, and that was the junior position, by the way. And later on, I watched a video by a very successful programmer called named John Thomas, and he said actually that starting as a junior developer at any company is not really a good idea. For you're gonna stuck there for months, and you're gonna learn quite really fast, while your salary is gonna remain at a very low level. You won't really be able to do anything about that. So that's kind of pain. Well, so intuitively I did reject that offer. And after that little accident, I really thought that just like a programming for money or programming job is not really for me. And I really dived deep into things I'm really interested in. I did many chess programming since then. I was learning about real-mode operating system development and the memory models in this particular case is the x86 processor architecture, the assembly language, and all the various things that you won't really ever probably get paid for. Well, actually, if I was ever going for the operating system, but no, I did a bootable brain fuck interpreter. Like who would actually ever care about that brain fuck interpreter? Probably nobody would. Okay. And also the same for the chess engines, all the other projects I've done. You can see all of them on GitHub. But that gave me one little benefit that turned out into a great benefit actually after. And actually, what I did, I've saved myself. I've saved my kind of rich inner world. I've saved my soul. I've saved my interest to programming and coding and my interest to developing myself in this part, and this really helped me to go my very own way instead of following some fancy trends that everybody would actually supposed to follow. But I was never about to follow in those fancy trends. So what I did, I always did things my own way, and I'm telling you this because that's the reason I didn't actually really think that somebody would ever be interested in me as a just to make some work for him, so just to employ me. I really didn't ever think about this. I really did choose such fields in IT that are not really paid. Like you won't really get money for this. I wasn't care about money ever in my life, and basically that's the reason for choosing such a kind of weird things to learn and practice. That you might have wondered this weird from the perspective of getting a job and getting paid well. Okay, but on the other hand, the most ever kind of important thing here that my development as a developer or even as a person was flowing in a very natural way. So I was really calm. I just did some jobs not really related to programming at all. When I had a little money, I could have just stopped doing those jobs and sitting at my computer for a month or two and coding my own things for my own pleasure. And then I found out that I've got something to share with other people, and that's how the Code Monkey channel Keen was actually born. And I really wanted to share all those things you could find out at this channel right now. And the interesting thing that when you're doing what you actually want, when you feel completely free, then at one day you come to the state where you kind of satisfied of everything you've done, and you can say like kind of, well, I did say everything I wanted to say, I've done everything I wanted to do, and now you're facing actually two opportunities. So the one opportunity, you could have actually quit and stop doing this and go and making something else in your life, lots of things available. But on the other hand, you could have actually started becoming more specified. For I was really general at the start learning programming, and now I'm really getting more specified, and that's pretty interesting. So that's pretty natural. And now, as far as you following the natural path, you don't really need to search for the job. Instead, the job is starting to search for you. And I had no idea how is that on earth actually possible. Yeah. And let me just briefly explain how this is actually possible. So, like again, like later on, when I was watching John Sonmez's videos related to soft skills, he explained that it's not the most important thing to be really that deeply technical. Well, that's really important, but you have to be an expert in that field you're working at. But it's not like the most important thing ever. And what he considers to be the most important things is actually what he calls soft skills. And the soft skills is a bunch of social skills and others, like maybe not really related to the technical field, but they allow you to communicate with other people, to understand them, to get their ideas, and that's very important, to get the ideas of the people you are actually working for. As far as you dive in deeply into their desires of what they actually want to get, the more valuable you become for them, and that's really important. Now, I've come to that conclusion intuitively, much before ever starting to watch John Sonmez's videos. But still, it's really pleasant when you're kind of watching the video of a programmer who did millions of bucks, and he's actually telling the things you are actually doing now, and you think like, okay, if John Sonmez did this, then and I'm also doing the same thing, and I was sure that I invented this myself, and actually I didn't. So this was known before, quite a bit of time before. And actually you say, okay, that probably I'm going the right way. And actually nobody ever told me that there is not only the front door when you want to get the job offer in the web, or not the web, in the software development area. And that's actually the key point over here. So there are also side doors as well as the back doors, and as far as you are starting to market yourself as a software developer, you are eventually starting to get some job offers. Well, John Sonmez actually has lots of videos related to this topic, but the thing I want actually to emphasize that when I was starting doing my YouTube channel, I didn't know that. So I had no idea what is this all about. And when the original idea that was in my head is I actually wanted to start sharing things I've learned and I've lived through with other people in order to kind of share with them the best things that are inside me. And I really wanted to share those things. And again, eventually this ended up having a job offer. And now another little thing. When I started those negotiations with my employer, I was wondering. I asked him, well, like you want me to build a heavy web app that is usually maintained by a team of at least from 10 to 15 experts in web development, and you want me alone to start doing this, and you believe that something is gonna be okay here, and you believe it works. And you also believe it works, already knowing that I have absolutely zero experience in web development. And you could think this is just crazy. How is that possible? Yeah, and that's actually the key message I'm about to bring to you guys over here. So uh, he was evaluating only my soft skills, like evaluating me like a person he's comfortable to work with. And he said like, I don't care about your skills. Well, I've saw your GitHub repo. I've saw the commentaries, so many positive commentaries on your works. I've seen your YouTube videos. I kind of understand what kind of guy you are. I see you're so passionate about what you are actually doing, passionate about the work. Your zeal and energy is just incredible, and I believe it's not a problem that you will learn this needed frameworks, all the related technologies quite pretty fast, and I'm not bothered about that. So I feel comfortable to work exactly with you, and that was really flattering for me. I was really surprised to get such sort of feedback for myself as a person, as a human being, as a man from the human perspective. It was really exciting, and I wasn't really ready for that, and that was really pleasant. That was really pleasant. And now, well, maybe some of you would say that it's like I'm taking some risk, or something that I'm not, and maybe some of you would ask me why I don't afraid to talk about this like in public. Well, I don't. Well, in two reasons. The first reason, before ever recording these videos, these blog videos, and some other video series related to my learning of Node.js and Express framework in future, well, I got the permission from my employer, and he's just okay about that. If I'm supposed to promote his project, well, I'm not talking his, well, but our project. It's now a part of me also. So like I'm kind of feel myself as a part of this already, just right now. No matter if it does work or not, already I'm a part of this, and that's really important. And that is actually very valuable for the employer, if you feel yourself really as a part of this project. And that's what they actually want to have. They don't need professionals. They need men who shares their ideas, and you fit exactly if you can do it. And that's the reason you have to have like a kind heart. Yeah, the technical skills are not the very most important thing. Just about the kind heart. You have to be sensitive to understand what your employer really wants. Well, you might say that that's a bit too much, and maybe nobody does that, but actually they do. And again, if you see some John Sonmez videos, you would see that he's talking about exactly the same things, but just in a little different words. From he's American, he's got another life experience. He's a millionaire, and like, of course, he's talking about this a bit different. But I've discovered this on my own, like kind of independently. You know, I'm just seeing these things in his videos that I'm actually started doing myself. That's really cool. Well, guys, so I think this is it. This is all I actually wanted to tell you about. So when you're looking for the job opportunities, remember that there are always some alternative ways of looking for a job. And as far as you letting the things flow naturally, you would eventually end up with a job offer like I did. And the technical skills are not really the most important thing. So, well, I hope this helps you, and I hope this also motivates you. And you know, like now I just have a little time while some software dependencies are being installed on my computer in order to run this web app I'm testing now. And probably I have a couple of minutes more, for I actually don't really have that much of spare time now. But I'm still about to keep maintaining this channel, and especially this particular blog. And what I'm talking now is maybe a bit like not to the point. Well, but I will definitely concentrate my minds and try to share them in a more decent way than just doing this right now. And I really have a lot of things to talk to you and a lot of things to share. And basically, like the whole my life, I was gathering some sort of abilities that were growing inside me, and now it's like a boost, you know, like they're boosting everywhere around, and I'm actually trying to figure it out. How can I put them in order, and also how can I share all of these things. And basically, I'd like this blog to be some sort of the live show of how Code Monkey King turns out into a real software web developer. Okay, guys, if you are interested about how the things are going on, are going to be actually, how am I learning some new web technologies that are also going to be covered, and am I really about to become a real software developer, then please press the subscribe button and also the bell button to get the notifications as far as a new video is about to come. So I think this is it for this video, and hope you enjoy this. I hope this did motivate you at some point, and I wish you all the best in your programming path, and just follow your own way. Don't follow the fancy trends. It doesn't really lead you to the desired destination, I believe. Okay guys, take care.